Have you ever wondered if the world we live in is an objective reality or just a complex web of shared illusions? Every day, we wake up and act upon concepts we believe to be absolute: money, nations, laws. But what if most of what we consider fundamental has no physical substance, existing only in the collective mind? Are we trapped in an era where the line between truth and fiction has blurred? Let's find out. Welcome to the Hidden Past channel and our series, 70,000 Years of Human Secrets. In this video, we will explore together, are we living in an age of illusion or reality? Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss other videos exploring human mysteries. If you find this video interesting and useful, please like and share to support us. We often think of reality as a collection of things that can be touched, seen, or measured. These are trees, rocks, rivers, and human bodies, physical entities that obey immutable natural laws. However, a large part of our lives is shaped by invisible things, abstract structures that we collectively create and believe in. From the money in your wallet to the nation whose citizenship you hold, or the powerful corporations that dominate the global economy, all are intersubjective realities, as Yuval Noah Harari calls them in *Sapiens*. They do not exist independently in the material world, but depend entirely on the belief and acceptance of millions, even billions of people. Without that shared belief, they would vanish like smoke. These fictions are not lies, but powerful shared stories that allow humans to cooperate on a large scale, far beyond the natural cooperative abilities of other animals. It is this ability to tell stories and believe in them that has propelled Homo sapiens from an insignificant animal to the planet's dominant species. We create rules, values, and common goals, transforming them into the foundations of all complex societies. For example, a banknote is just a piece of paper with ink, but its value lies not in its material, but in our collective belief in the economic system and the government that guarantees it. Millions of people are willing to exchange labor and assets for these pieces of paper, because they believe that others will also accept them. This belief is a shared illusion, but it has the power to shape the real world in an astonishing way. Similarly, the concepts of nations or borders are invisible lines on a map, yet we are willing to shed blood to protect them, building armies and laws based on these imaginary boundaries. A corporation has no physical body, but it has the right to own assets, enter into contracts, and dismiss employees, all based on a legal agreement and a shared belief in its existence as a legal person. So, what happens when these illusions become so powerful that we can no longer distinguish them from objective reality? When leaders, media, and even individuals intentionally or unintentionally manipulate these shared stories, the consequences can be very serious. In today's digital age, the line between illusion and reality has become blurrier than ever. The internet, social media, virtual reality, VR, and artificial intelligence, AI, are creating spaces where shared stories spread at lightning speed, and sometimes it's hard to distinguish authentic information from fake news or AI-generated content. Personalized algorithms on social media have created filter bubbles and echo chambers where each person is exposed only to information and viewpoints that reinforce their existing beliefs. This makes it easy for us to get stuck in a reality shaped by our own preferences and prejudices, making it difficult to access more diverse, objective perspectives. Virtual reality and augmented reality immerse us in entirely digitally constructed worlds where experiences can feel as vivid as reality, but are completely non-physical. Gamers spend thousands of hours in virtual universes, invest real money in virtual items, and form virtual relationships. For them, that virtual world has an undeniable emotional reality. Artificial intelligence is escalating this blurring. AI can create images, videos, and texts so realistic that they are indistinguishable from human products, posing major challenges in determining the authenticity of information. Deepfakes can create false but real-looking evidence, leading to serious consequences in politics, society, and personal relationships. Digital platforms are creating a virtual economy where digital assets like NFTs or cryptocurrencies are worth millions of dollars, even though they exist only as code on the blockchain. This value is built on shared belief, artificially created scarcity, and the acceptance of the user community. Dependence on technological devices also changes how we interact with the real world. Instead of fully living in the present moment, many people prioritize recording everything with their phones, then sharing it on social media to receive virtual validation. The goal of becoming an influencer and the number of followers sometimes becomes a measure of personal value instead of real achievements. We are building digital identities, more perfect versions of ourselves on social media, where life is rosy and problems are hidden. This leads to unhealthy comparisons, anxiety, and feelings of inadequacy as we constantly face illusions of other people's lives and feel we cannot achieve them. If objective reality is shrouded by too many layers of illusion, then what is the meaning of our lives and actions? Philosophers from ancient times have wrestled with this question. Plato, with his allegory of the cave, envisioned humans chained, seeing only the shadows of objects on the cave wall, believing that to be the only reality, completely unaware of the world outside filled with light. In modern society, we may be in a larger cave than ever before, where images and messages are projected onto the cave walls by media, advertising, and algorithms. We are fed stories of success, beauty, and happiness that are sometimes unattainable ideals constructed to promote consumption or maintain a certain system. Is the happiness we pursue truly happiness, or just a version defined and promoted by society? Do we truly want a big house, a luxurious car, or a prestigious career? Or are these just desires implanted in our minds by advertisements and social pressure? The truth is, humans have always lived by stories. Even religions, despite their profound spiritual meaning, are shared belief systems that provide a moral framework and meaning for life. We need stories to understand the world, to connect with each other, and to overcome the fear of impermanence. The problem is not that illusions are inherently evil, but rather a lack of awareness of their nature. When we realize that many things we consider real are merely social constructs, we can begin to question, challenge ingrained beliefs, and redefine meaning for ourselves. Distinguishing between objective reality and intersubjective illusion becomes a survival skill in this era. It requires critical thinking, a willingness to question what is widely accepted, and a relentless search for the truth behind the veils. We need to learn how to evaluate sources of information, fact-check, and avoid being swept away by one-sided information streams. This not only helps us make better decisions for ourselves, but also contributes to building a more transparent society based on more substantive values. In a world where the line between real and virtual is increasingly blurred, developing self-awareness and mindfulness becomes paramount. We need to clearly discern what is a product of nature, what is the result of social interaction and shared belief, and what is purely fictitious. This ability does not deny the value of social structures, like currency or nations, because they are still fundamental to the functioning of society. However, recognizing their non-physical nature allows us not to be blindly controlled by them, but instead to use them consciously and responsibly. We can start by questioning the origin of our own beliefs and values. Are what we believe to be true, beautiful, and important truly from our own deep understanding? Or are they reflections of messages we continuously receive from our surroundings, from family, friends, media, and culture? Seeking real experiences, connecting with nature and people authentically, is also a way to anchor ourselves in objective reality. Spending time offline, reducing dependence on digital devices, and engaging in creative activities can help us reconnect with our true selves and the world around us. Many people find peace and meaning in practicing mindfulness, focusing on the present moment and what is happening in their minds and bodies. This method helps us realize that thoughts and emotions are temporary entities, not our eternal nature, helping to reduce attachment to illusions. Furthermore, learning and expanding knowledge from various fields, especially science and philosophy, can provide us with tools to better understand the universe and humanity's place within it. Science seeks objective laws, while philosophy explores questions about meaning and the nature of reality. The development of critical thinking not only helps us evaluate information, but also helps us evaluate our own goals and motivations. It allows us to ask ourselves, is this truly important to me, or am I just chasing an ideal imposed by society? As a result, instead of passively drifting in a sea of illusions, we can become active navigators, choosing to believe in stories that genuinely benefit ourselves and our communities, and discarding stories that are harmful or lead us astray. The era we are living in is not the first time humans have faced the complexity between illusion and reality. Since the dawn of history, Homo sapiens needed myths and shared beliefs to build communities and overcome the harsh challenges of wild life. From believing in gods who govern nature to explain weather phenomena, to creating rituals and laws to maintain social order, humans have always been storytellers and story believers. This has helped us survive, but also simultaneously created a veil over objective reality. Today, shared stories have transformed from ancient myths into political ideologies, global brands, or popular cultural trends. They still serve the same basic function, providing meaning, guiding action, and enabling social cooperation on an unprecedented scale.
The current challenge is how to harness the power of these shared stories without being enslaved by them, how to maintain a clear view of reality even as we must live and work in a world built on abstract agreements and beliefs. This is a continuous process of learning and adjustment. Society will continue to evolve, and new intersubjective realities will continue to emerge, driven by technology and changes in how we interact. Adaptability and open-mindedness are crucial. Ultimately, the question, are we living in an age of illusion or reality, is not an either-or question. Rather, we are living in an era where both illusion and reality coexist, intricately intertwined, forming the tapestry of our lives. The task of each individual is to constantly hone their discernment so as not to get lost in the maze of information and beliefs. By clearly understanding the nature of what we are facing, we can live a more meaningful, autonomous, and realistic life. With what we've explored about illusion and reality, another important question arises. Are we truly independent, autonomous individuals in shaping our own lives? Or are all choices already dominated by shared stories, by invisible social structures? This question leads us to a deeper topic: free will. Are we truly free in thought and action? Or are all our choices merely products of genes, environment, and external factors? Stay tuned for the next video, where we will dissect free will. Does it truly exist? To understand the nature of choice and self-determination.